Good morning, chicks and chickens. Welcome back to Old Man Farm. My name is Sid, as always. Coming at you live from the headache capital of the world, my recording room. It's Maddie's birthday today. We'll see if we can pop up to Ridgeside. That shouldn't be too big of a problem. I think we can do that. I would also like today to get a heater for Sinclair's coop. Go ahead and move our chicken back and, sort of get everyone where they're supposed to be for the moment. And I'd like to go get started on getting those midnight carp. So I think that's sort of our plan for the day. Nothing ultra pressing or, super interesting. But apparently Leah has something good to say here. Hi, Sid. Beautiful day, isn't it? It sure is. God, love these fall days. Brought you a gift. It's a sculpture I've been working on just for you. Aww. That is awesome. I love when people give me art. You received a Leah's sculpture. That's syntax is a little weird. It's called How I Feel About Sid. I hope you like it. And it's a convoluted mess. Well, Leah, you know what? At least it's consistent about how most people feel about me. I love it. I love it. But, hey, I'm in all seriousness, I do really enjoy getting art. I mean, who doesn't? But I have this big flower made out of hangers and pantyhose and PVC and stuff that a friend gave me, and it is I love it. I traded her. I gave her a car and she gave me that, and I was like, I personally think I got the better end of the deal. Let's see here. Morning, Sid. I figured out the ingredient list. My original famous omelet needs eggs, bell pepper, tomato, mushroom, and cheese, so I figure I can make a few substitutions and have an omelet be even more flavorful. I'll need 10 of each of the following for sure. 10 tomatoes, 10 goat cheese, 10 purple mushroom, 10 hot pepper, and 10 milk. As for the duck eggs, let me know how many you're willing to contribute. Whatever I don't get from you, I'll order from Marnie. And if I need any more, I'll order some extra, not from Joja, but from the store called Config. I don't know what it stands for, but it doesn't even have an E for egg in the acronym. But they're renowned for their culinary ingredients and have good prices. I'll get started on it once I have all the materials. Okay, so we are not beholden to a time limit. That's actually really nice. Oh. What? Apparently we hit that. When did we hit that? Well, you know what? I think we can handle that, actually. Boy. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so let's find... Okay, Lenny needs a... Jesus, I got so many things. Lenny needs an eggplant. Where is the... I can't find the, I can't find the list. Well, that's interesting. I don't know where that went. I don't know where the list for Gus went. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get that eggplant, those 25 crops, the gold star crops and things like that. I actually didn't think we had hit that, but... Oh, well, there we go. That works. But either way. So, yeah, I forget what I was talking about 2 seconds ago. As I said, I have just a... ginormous headache, but if you saw yesterday's community post, I have decided to start taking Sundays off. I know, boo hiss. I know actually all of you are very supportive, and I really, really, really appreciate that. But I feel terrible about it. I really do. But that being said, I do think that it is in the long run. It is necessary. I really need to give myself one day a week with everything that's going on with the house and all that. It just, I need to take the time. So, I'm going to do that. And I appreciate everyone being, so supportive of it. So it shouldn't really change much, quite honestly. Here, let's throw these rhubarb in. That should work. Ah, yes, we did. We needed 10 peppers as well, right? Milk. I forget what else he said. I really wish we could see that. That is upsetting. Oh, and we needed an eggplant. There we go. Okay, that's a few things. We'll go ahead. Like I said, we're not on a particular time limit, so it's not a big deal if we get a little bit behind. But yeah, so I took that Sunday off. I also took yesterday off of streaming. Now that was more unintentional. I'm actually recording this when I should be streaming, but my partner was absolutely wiped out from the weekend, and honestly, so am I. But you know, I'm like I said, I have this just massive headache, but it's a lot easier to do this. Hello, Sinclair. It's a lot easier to sit and record an episode of this than it is to sit and be live. You know what I mean? It works a different part of your brain. It's a whole different beast. So I'm able to sit and take the time out to do you know, a half an hour recording here is distinctly different to going and doing a live show for 2 hours. So again, I really appreciate you guys helping me out on that. You know, just being understanding. I'm not saying we'll never go back to 7 days a week. I would legitimately like to, but it might be a solid 6 months or more before we reassess that, strictly based on the fact that, you know, that's probably as long as it's going to take, if not longer, to get the all the housing situation sorted. So until that is sorted and we're feeling moved in and stable, then this is just going to be what happens. Now, you might get some Sunday shows here and there, maybe even some things that aren't Stardew. We'll see how it goes, but for right now, that's what we're working with. So I appreciate your understanding, and and like I said about streaming, if you are interested, definitely the link's in the description. Go check out the Twitch channel. I normally stream 3 days a week, but we'll see. But anyway, let's go in here to the star drop, and then oh geez, we can't quite yet. That's okay. Lenny, damn, that's up there too. Well, you know what? We'll come back later. Go ahead and see if we can catch some fish right now. Actually, you know what? By the time we get up there, and it's going to be time. We'll just wait. So I was also going to say, I went to Cedar Point on Saturday, and I mentioned it. I posted in the Discord, and obviously I added it to the picture of for the community post. But yeah, I figured I have not been to Cedar Point in at least 15 years, maybe longer, quite honestly. There you go, Marty. And there were like 5 or 6 rides that were not there last time I was there. Just a few that I can name offhand was Maverick, Valraven, Gatekeeper, Steel Vengeance, the one that took the place of the Mantis. It's called like the Rougarou or something like that. All of those were new, and I was like, okay, I want to make sure to ride at least one of the new rides. You know what I mean? That was important. No, I don't want to eat the egg. Is this not where we have to go? No? Where do I put him? This is all messed up. Maybe it'll be in there tomorrow. We'll check. Maybe they didn't intend us to do this today. That's, you know, and that's fair. Oh, excuse me. I had a big old sneeze there. So I made it a point to, since the gatekeeper is at the front gate of the park, I decided to do that one first. And I was really happy that I did, because I really like roller coasters. They are not, I have never been afraid of them. I get excited, my heart starts to race, but it's not fear in the way that I guess when people say they're afraid of roller coasters and they won't go on them, I don't know if we're experiencing the same thing, because like in my head, here you go, Lenny, it's finally here. Thanks a lot, Sid. I'm gonna have a healthy dinner tonight. You're welcome, Lenny. I don't think I'm experiencing the same thing. I think I just have this sort of like, oh, Jesus. Hi, Pika. Ah, Sid, good to see you. Hungry? Not particularly. I am stuffed. Say, since you're new here, today's meal is on the house. I have this new dish I'm thinking about adding to the menu. Do you mind being my first consumer trial? Not at all. Don't worry, Kiahi and I tested the dish beforehand. Oh, great. Okay, just wait a minute now. Jesus. Did you have to knock it out first? Here you go. Go on, take a bite. Well, you didn't even tell me what it is. Oh, it's the tuna thing that I bought. Like spicy tuna or whatever it was. Oh, I'm glad you like it. All right, then it's official. It's on the menu. Go on, eat up. Why, thank you, Pika. I love testing new recipes. Okay, where the heck is... Let's see. There, so it says she's... Okay. We'll see. We'll see if she's actually there. But, so yeah, I had not... I don't think I have like fear of roller coasters, but I definitely get like heart racing and like, you know, that like kind of anticipation. But I was a bit like, I think I was getting anxiety, you know what I mean? I was like, I think I might have actually been kind of afraid for the first ride, but the gatekeeper looked big enough that it would sort of get me in there and make me feel comfortable that like I didn't go on like a kiddie ride to see if I was still able to handle this, but it was not so large like the you know, like the Valraven or something where I felt like this might be too much for me. And no, it was really, really fun. This happened on every time I would go down a large, like the first large hill and like the G's would really kick in, I started to black out a little bit. Like around the edges of my vision would start to like creep in and black out. I was like, that's probably not good, right? We probably shouldn't do that. But I did. And that was concerning, but it was a lot of fun. The gatekeeper actually like, it does like, it twists through these like narrow holes in these like pillars of the gate, and yeah, just a lot of spins and stuff. It was a lot of fun, really, really fun. And I only had to wait probably about 25-30 minutes in line, which was a very reasonable amount of time to wait. But I kept seeing in the distance looming this one coaster. Didn't know what it was. I was like, whatever it is, that is cool, and I want to ride it. Turned out to be the one called the Valraven. And I got there, and the timer on there, or like the little thing, said that it would be about an hour and 15-minute wait. I'm like, that's a long time. But at the same time, I really wanted to ride it. There was no ride I wanted to ride more, so may as well, right? Well, get like halfway through the line, someone throws up on the machine or on the ride. They have to shut it down for, you know, 15-20 minutes to clean it. And then they run one of the 3 cars with no one in it. I'm assuming for sanitary purposes or something. And, well, eventually, like over 2 hours later, I finally get on this ride. And, it is, I guess they refer to it as a drop coaster, meaning its whole, like, claim to fame is that it has, like, a vertical drop as its first hill. Just straight down. And it, wow, it was intense. It was so much fun, and a lot of like mid-loop twists and such. Overall, a very short ride. You know, the ride itself is, God, I don't know, has to be like less than a minute long. You know, it takes no time once you're actually on it, but it is intense and so much fun. But what ended up happening is because all of the lines for every single line for a coaster, even some of the, God, there was a coaster that was like, oh, a Voidial, nice. There was a line for a coaster that is one of the more, you know, it's not quite such an extreme, you know, like double diamond ride, and it was, you know, it was still like an hour and a half, 2 hour wait. And I was like, damn. So we ended up doing some of the more like fair style ones, like, you know, God, I don't even know if they have names, but my point is that I fully understand why people buy those obscenely expensive fast passes. And if you're not familiar, that reminds me, we have to use this. Here you go, sir.
That smell, I can't resist. Give me that. Thanks.
You're welcome. I forget what we need in here. Isn't it like some... Isn't it this? Yeah. Run, run, run. You've found the wizard's lost magic ink. Better return it to him. Oh my god, what did we do? No way. Oh, that's so cool. We just dipped all the way to Razmo's house, just like that. You found my ink. Excellent. Did you happen to see my ex-wife? No. Well, what about her house? Do you think she lives alone, or... Razmodius, come on, man. Have some self-respect. Actually, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Anyway, you must be wondering about your reward. Here. Oh. Fancy book. It's a book of summoning. The arcane potential is immense, but I'll make it simple for you. By using this book, you can summon magic buildings directly to your farm. I think you'll find it useful. Oh my god, we can finally get Junimo huts? Oh, I almost forgot to say. Thank you. Anytime, Razmodius. Anytime, my friend. Oh, we got another one. Just piling them on here. Curious. Welcome, Sid. What is this? It's a plant. Or it was, at any rate. Tell me, Sid, do you know why your produce and resources never spoil? I am curious if you ever thought about it. Something called Juno magic, probably. Are you casting spells on my crops while I sleep? Is that why they sometimes randomly grow? No, I've never thought about why my year-old fish is still as fresh as the day I caught it. I'm gonna go Juno magic. Quite astute, but perhaps not for the reasons you might think. The Junimos, as you know, are forest spirits. Their communion with nature itself is unmatched, and said communion affords places with a closer connection to nature a greater degree of preservation. In simple terms, places which are deeply intertwined with nature, such as the forest and your farm, will have their resources preserved for as long as they are needed. Otherwise, eventually, the item in question will spoil. You can see this happening with resources you've sold to the local grocer's store. Simply put, if you keep a crop, it will never wither. If you give it to the grocer, it will rot. What do you think of this explanation to this mystery of the valley you live in? One mystery down, only a million more to go. I mean, it's nice to know, but why are you telling me this? What's your point, wizard? I'm gonna go with the middle one. I was getting to that. Despite what I have just told you, I found this rotten plant in the forest this morning. It appears to have previously been edible. This has grim implications. It signifies the connection between the Junimo and their forest is deteriorating. The loss of this connection from a magical perspective is concerning, but ultimately not catastrophic. This, however, is likely disastrous for the mundane of this town. It would mean that the current protection of the resources of the valley would no longer apply. Most of your preserved resources would simply rot away, and further resources would be capable of withering away much quicker than usual. Hot damn! Fear not, Sid. I am capable of taking care of this issue, but it will not be easy. The Junimo and I have a tenuous relationship at best. Convincing them that I seek to aid them will be difficult without your assistance. In the coming days, I will cast a spell to strengthen the connection between the Junimo and the forest. This should prevent the rotting of resources for a time. But to truly fix the damage, the Junimo will likely require an offering sacrifice. You have encountered this before, I believe. They request gifts of the valley, and in return, they provide. Unless I am mistaken, it is what the Junimo requested on their note for your community center previously. When I know what the Junimo request, I will utilize your special orders board to request the necessary items. Provide me with the materials, and the Junimo will recognize your offerings and renew their connection with the forest for longer than you shall likely live. Jesus, you will, of course, be rewarded with whatever the Junimo give in return, including the protection of your resources. If that is agreeable, that'll be a sight. Local wizard, previously unseen, walks into town to post something on the special order boards. I actually like that. That's yeah. as if I would deign to appear before the mundane folk in town in such a fashion. No, I will simply teleport in before they wake, post a notice, and return home. Although I must admit they may be unsettled by such a request appearing out of nowhere. I think they understand, man. I will perform the spell in the coming days. Look for the item requests on the board soon. Okay, well, that was unexpected. I should ask around town to see if anyone's food is going bad faster than normal. So, what that is, actually, let's see if we can use that teleport. I'm out of curiosity. What that is, this is actually related to the Stardew, or the Stardrop Valley, or the Stardrop Saloon Breakfast. These two are related. There is apparently a quest line that has to do with the Junimo magic weakening and crops starting to wither and die. So it's an optional quest line, but I think that could be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm definitely down to get into that. I think this should be pretty rad. Honestly, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's probably gonna be fairly extensive, and as long as it's not timed, I'm very much into it. So we'll see in the coming days, weeks, you know. However, but anyway, back to the Cedar Point thing. Point is, the lines were obnoxiously long, and although you know, hey, it's whatever. I'm not like mad about it. I'm not complaining. It's fine. I had fun. But when you go like somewhere like Cedar Point, right, and you expect to spend what 12 hours there, and each ride you spend 2.5 hours or more just trying to get on it, ride it, and then there's the time in between to walk to each one. And you know, the point at what I'm getting at is you end up only riding, you know, 4 rides. You know what I mean? And it just, man, that is, I mean, that's a grand total of less than 5 minutes you actually spend on a ride for like a 12-hour day. And it's I guess if you had a pass and you were coming every weekend, it'd be different. But for me, you know, this is the first and only time I went this year. And although I had a great time, I 100% understand how someone could drop $150 on a pass that makes it so that 2.5-hour wait turns into 20 minutes. Suddenly, you're able to ride, you know, 10 rides, 15 rides, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was just a little food for thought on that. But speaking of food, part of that is we had a pass, or part of our pass was that every 90 minutes we could get a meal from a restaurant. And, you know, obviously there are a lot of restaurants within the park, and not each one, most places, not everything on the menu is part of the free meal pass, but most of the things are. And all the stuff that we got was, it was really good. It was, I was surprised, especially for it being free food, essentially. I guess, to be fair, the normal price was so obscene that I guess that's where they make up for it, you know? But it was really good, except for the fact that the one place we went, we ordered a bread bowl with some soup, and as I was coming out after getting like utensils and stuff, now mind you, this is a crowded amusement park. I bumped into someone. No one spilled anything. It was not an aggressive bump. It was just like a little, you know, boop like you would in a line. And I said, you know, excuse me, or sorry, or one of the two, whichever, and then moved along, right? And the guy, I guess, was sitting at the table next to where I was sitting. And when I got almost to my table, just about to sit down, he said something. I'm like, what is going on? And he was like, why are you giving me that look? You bumped into me. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, you're giving me a dirty... I was like, dude, I didn't look at you. I said, I'm sorry. What more do you want? Like, it's an amusement park. And I was like, dude... And he kept coming after me about it. And I was like, are you like... Do you just want to fight? Like, is that what this is? Do you just want to start hitting each other in this restaurant? Because, I mean, I guess we can do that and both be dragged out of Cedar Point in front of our families. But what is that here to prove? It was just very weird to me to have someone be that angry about getting bumped into. Nothing was spilled or anything, but to be that mad about being bumped into at an amusement park. Like, I had a kid straight up, like donkey kick me in the back of the knees and, like, buckled my knees while we were in line. And, like, I just looked over, saw it was a kid, and was like, oh. He had that look in his eyes like, oh no, because he didn't mean to kick me. It's like, what, I'm gonna get mad and yell at his parents? Like, no, dude, I don't know. You run into people. These things happen. But speaking of kids, I realized, you know, because I'm a geezer, I realized that apparently all teenage girls look like the frumpy nerd from a 90s sitcom nowadays, and all teenage boys look like they just left the gym. Apparently, that's the hot fashion, I guess. Jesus, these void salmon are rough. We're gonna have to call it for the day anyway. But yeah, and they were all the boys were wearing. I actually didn't even notice this, but my partner said all the boys were wearing their sock, like all their pants were tucked into their socks. And I was like, man, I wasn't fashionable when I was a teenager, let alone as a 35-year-old man can I keep up with the fashion of teenagers, you know what I mean? But I just did think it was funny, which I want to say I'm not judging. I don't care what people wear. I legitimately think that as long as you like the way you look, that is the only thing that matters. But it was just funny to me that like the girl, like all these teenage girls looked like when I was in high school, the girls that looked like that were the weird ones and would get made fun of and stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, they were the type of people I hung out with. You know what I mean? And like nowadays, it was every single teenage girl there, which I think there was a bunch of schools were there. That's why there were so many teenagers. But it was just funny to me that yeah, that was apparently that's the look nowadays, I guess. But you know, point being is Cedar Point was a lot of fun. I think I'd like to go back again next year, but do it during the summer. Oh shittles, I forgot to take the yes, taste the rainbow. I forgot to take that rhubarb to Pierre's. Dang it. Okay, well, I'll have to do that tomorrow. Sorry, again, I have a splitting headache. It's been an insane weekend, and yeah, I cannot wait. My bed is calling my name, and I am not the type to look forward to laying down in bed. I look at it's like a death sentence to me, but I'm so excited to lay down. So, whoops, I guess we ran out of space in this one. That's okay. We'll just hold on to it for tomorrow. I'm gonna hold on to these void eels as well. I'm gonna put him in our like to eat chest, but I think if I'm not mistaken, maybe it's magma eels I'm thinking of, but I thought these guys were really good for a pond. I don't know. Inconclusive. But okay, let's go ahead and get to bed. Yeah, dump away these truffles. Yeah, I'm gonna try and put a few things away, but quite honestly, I don't know. I don't know where everything needs to go. But okay, yeah, let's go ahead and check our weather and then get to bed, and then I am gonna do the same. Gotta edit this, and then I'm off to sleepy time land. But nice breezy day tomorrow. And we couldn't find Maddie, and you know what? That's okay. I didn't want to waste the whole day bumming around Ridgeside, but we know how to find George tomorrow, so we can look forward to saying happy birthday to old Grumpy Pants. But either way, I appreciate you guys hanging out and being understanding about me needing to take a one day off a week. It is a huge sigh of relief for me, honestly. So thank you guys for understanding. But yeah, be good to each other. I will talk to you tomorrow because it's not a Sunday. And good night.